Hi, I'm Caleb. I'm a cardist, and I'm interviewing other cardists to see how and why they create, so we can learn how to grow as a community. Welcome to Cardistry Talk. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cardistry Talk. This is episode 16 at this point. Today, I'm joined by Eric Hwang, also known as Ericardistry on social media. He's an awesome cardist. Eric, how's your day?
Pretty good so far.
Good. Awesome. Love to hear it. Really happy to have you on the show. Like I said, I really love some of the moves you have. I love the fruit series you have. So I think
Thank you.
people are going to be really excited to hear your perspective on cardistry. Um, you know, so just jumping into some questions, I just want to start with something that's pretty recent. Your Humans of Cardistry post, you kind of
Yeah.
alluded to the point that you wanted there to be more short videos in the community. Would you be able to elaborate on that? Kind of what do you gain out of these short videos, and why do you think it's so important that we as a community post them?
Yeah. So I really like watching Cardistry videos, obviously. And I feel like every single video I watch gives me a little more inspiration. Like, for example, if Civ Phase posts a video like 1 minute long, then I'm always watching it like constantly over and over sometimes. And like Carter's videos are really inspiring. Like it's also music that motivates me as well. So
Mhm.
whatever artists use as their music, I always listen to and like eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what we see a lot of overlap in like people that really love music and cardistry. I'm not exactly sure why that is, but like we have Orbit with the rap, and like just everybody kind of has like really interesting tastes and different tastes than just the
Yeah.
mainstream. So it's always interesting to hear, like you just said, the songs that people associate with their videos, and it also creates like a unique feeling. So I'm kind of in the same boat where I'd feel like as a community we don't post as much content because we're either scared of not coming off good with our cardistry or whatever it is, or the effort it takes to make a video. But
Yeah.
I'm totally in the same boat where like I get inspired by seeing some of these, even the shorter videos. So I'm happy that you mentioned that with the cardistry of Humans of Cardistry. Can't talk. Um, just in general, like what are some other ways that you look at some other avenues you look at to kind of get inspired to create either moves or videos?
I think jamming a lot with other artists really inspires me as well. Like talking to other people, whether it's like FaceTiming them or calling them over like Zoom like this.
Mhm.
It's like really inspiring. Like seeing other people's moves also inspires me a lot. Like I can have some inspiration over a move that someone else is doing. Like I'm not gonna steal it, but I could maybe use some of their like concepts in other moves. And then also, yeah, like just talking with them, the vibe I feel that could be transferred into like a different video I'm trying to make.
Mhm. I think it's very important to have like taking inspiration from other people's moves, like not stealing, like you said, but like everything, especially at this point, most of the basic mechanics are kind of already set in stone. Like there's not
Yeah,
going to be there's not going to be a three hand cut
yeah,
you're not going to grow a third hand or something. So like everything is iterative of other things at this point for the most part. So like drawing inspiration from other artists, I think is very important, and just having that community aspect to keep you motivated is very cool.
yeah.
Um, do you find it easy to connect with people through for cardistry online?
I think so. Like recently, because of those like edits I've been posting, more people have been reaching out to me and like talking to me, and they want to jam often. So I think that definitely helped me like reach out to more people and then talk to more people as well.
Hmm. That's good. I love to see, because we're community is such an online cardistry
Yeah,
community is such an online focused thing because there's not enough of us around. So I'm always interested in how easy it is for people to get like access to other people. Um,
yeah,
so I'm happy to hear that You got some people to jam with. If you ever want to jam, we can do that for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So jumping into a little bit of your moves, something that I've seen you do, at least early on in your Instagram feed, is kind of maneuvering the deck through different aspects of your body, like shooting it through a gap in your arm or
Yeah,
other things like that, twisting your arm in weird ways. What's
yeah.
kind of like the inspiration into moves like that? And kind of why have you kind of like explored that in your cardistry?
Well, like at first I was like just doing whatever because the first year of cardistry, well, I was doing cardistry for 3 years now. And the like whole first year of cards that I was doing was without Instagram. I was just like on my own with some decks. Like the only form of cardistry I could watch was on YouTube. So that was like my only form of inspiration and stuff. So like when I first got Instagram, I was like really like a small cardist and I was like really cringe too. So I wasn't doing that well. But then after I started doing like this aerial, I posted a behind the back aerial. It was pretty big and like it blew up all of a sudden. So I was like, well, that might be pretty cool to expand on. So I kept doing more aerials and then I think that's what eventually made me like transition into like doing those weird like arm things and then
Hmm.
the legs and stuff. Yeah, so I think that's what got me into that.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I don't think it's been an area that's been explored a lot.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
only like other person I can think about is like Sean O has the like
Yeah,
I can't he catches the spring like this. I can't lift my
yeah,
I'm not in view, but do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah. That
Yeah,
one's
yeah.
insane.
I remember seeing that and I'm like, that's really cool. And then like I tried to do it myself and like it's
Yeah.
relatively easy.
So,
You
oh
can.
yeah. Well, I can't do it. It's
Oh,
like really hard for me.
for me it was pretty easy and I was like, oh, why does it seem so cool? um, so maybe it's just something to do with anatomy. It's probably easier for some people, I'm sure. But that's something I love to see, like just incorporating more of our body instead of just hands for
Yeah,
cardistry is something that I don't think is explored as much. Like I'm trying to explore using feet in cardistry, just because I have a little bit of a soccer background.
oh
And
yeah.
I think there's so much opportunity for growth there. And not
Yeah.
necessarily like cheesy stuff like adding a packet off the chain,
Yeah.
but like being able to do like stalls or like using like creating your own gaps and um, hurdles to overcome with your own body. So I think it's
Yeah.
interesting that you've explored that concept, and I really liked watching those early on.
No, thank you.
Welcome. Um, and then going into the creative process, when you try to make a move, I always like to ask this question because everybody's process is different, or they don't even have a process. Do you have any process when trying to create a new move?
Like it's always different for me. Like at first I was like I found openers that were really cool and I expanded on those and eventually found some kind of nice closer to blend with it. Or other times I find this specific moment, like I'm just messing around and I find this one moment that either there's a cool display or a movement that's like really central to the move. So then I expand on that and work on either side. Or like recently I've been just so during school I just use cards all the time
Hmm.
because it's like it's so boring. And then like I've made a lot of my moves during class. Just like I've just doing whatever is in my hands.
Hmm.
So that's
Just kind of
really
like happy little accidents.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
I feel like that's where like a lot of stuff that people are proud of comes from. Is just
Yeah.
something that just kind of happens one day.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard to think out a move. At least it takes a long time for me. Um, so yeah, that's cool. I'm really interested in people's processes. Like I said before, it's really cool to grab what other people have done when trying to make something yourself or trying to create for the first time.
Yeah.
Going back into the Humans of Cardistry post, um, you kind of talk a little bit about how everybody's like saving moves for bigger, solo
Yeah.
videos. Do you think that is good for the community, or do you think kind of hinders, or it's kind of like in this little middle ground?
Well, I think what I said in my humans of cardistry post was like kind of selfish because I kind of just wanted more content to be put out. Like in my mind, I thought maybe this person can put out some content and then rest for a while and then save moves for a little bit. And then while that other person's saving, someone else puts out more content. And then it just kind of revolves like that. But then that's obviously not going to happen. But I think saving moves and then releasing all of them like in a huge solo video would be, I mean, it still contributes to the community and gives inspiration always. So I think, yeah, that's
Mhm.
well, saving moves is good and bad at the same time.
Yeah, this is something I've been fighting with a lot too. When I make my moves, like, do I post them or do I like try to save them for, a future video, or like release them in the best way that they could be released, or
Yeah,
release them in a way that is more beneficial to the community, right? Because like if you release a concept or an idea or a theme, it can be iterated upon quicker if you put it out faster, which
yeah,
grows the community as a whole more. But and like you said, it is selfish. It's not necessarily a bad thing to be selfish to save moves,
yeah,
right? Like it's not a bad thing. It's okay to be selfish and to save those moves, but it depends what you're going for. And I feel like for the community aspect of it, if you're not like a big name, like I think you should probably be releasing your moves like pretty regularly, right?
yeah, I think so too.
Not only because like for one, you'll get that feedback and you can become a big name, right? Because you have an idea of how to create something better every time because you have the reaction from it. Um, I think everybody wants to be the next Noel Heath, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And most people aren't the next. Nobody's Noel Heath except for Noel
Yeah,
Heath. I don't even know if Noel Heath is Noel Heath, lives up to
yeah,
the legend of Noel Heath, if I'm saying his name right. But Noel
yeah,
Noel. But
no heat.
um, yeah, so this is something I've been struggling with too, and I'm interested to hear if you're listening to the podcast right now or watching the video. Please let me know your opinion on it because it's something I've been wrestling with lately, and I think it's an interesting topic that doesn't get talked about enough. So, what is it about these short videos that um, helps you create? I think I've already kind of asked this question, but we can kind of go over it again.
Um, well, I feel like I don't know, just like the process of editing and like filming, either it's outside or like 12 a.m. Like I always feel really inspired. Like I can't like if I film at like 12 a.m. and then stop at like 1 a.m., then like all I do is just edit for the next like 3 hours or something because
Mhm.
I like want to have it completed. And just like having that video makes me feel really inspired because like I know I can do better and then improve on that as well.
Mhm. So do you find like looking back, you feel like you've progressed more as a cardist and as well as editing when you have like
Yeah,
you're able to look back and see like the actual progression though?
yeah. Like I think I've archived around 100 posts and all of it's like really cringe up to like the past few months. Starting with fruits, I think I've actually gotten like if it was like a graph, then it would be like stagnant and then just like a spike in my level. I feel like, yeah.
Like I said, I like the fruit videos. Was there any inspiration in creating those? Is it just kind of whenever Fontaine releases a deck, you're like, oh sweet, I have like this deck to kind of get some creativity from?
Yeah, I think that's mainly it. Like after he released the aquaberry and pineapple, I was like, well, I have the watermelons already, so why not make a whole fruit deck? Like
Mhm.
like saga almost of edits. Because I had a lot of moves saved and I had all three of the videos planned out too. So I was like, I just need to find a deck to use.
Mhm. Yeah, I think people generally reacted really good to those videos, and I like the Babylon video as well that you made.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome. Do you intend to like keep doing that every time they
Yeah,
release
I think
that?
so.
You think so?
Yeah, because I have a lot of other ideas like planned out. Like I have just like notes in my like iPhone just
Mhm.
for ideas and stuff.
So look forward to seeing that. I am looking forward to seeing what the Halloween deck is. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, me too.
This is kind of just a random question, but what do you think makes a cardist a good cardist? Like, is it moves? Is it perfection of a move? What makes a cardist stand out to you?
Oh, I'm not sure. Like I think if they explore a new concept, they like really stand out to me. Or if they make like a really good edited video, I think that would be really like anything that inspires me, I feel like would put someone as a good cardist,
Mhm.
in my opinion.
Yeah. I really love seeing not only like you said, exploring new concepts. Like that's awesome. Like what you've done, like I said, with like integrating your body and flexibility, and like what Noel Heath does with everything that he's ever done.
Yeah,
Um, but um, I think something that's really special too is if you see someone that like mastered a move, right? So like
yeah,
the verts, like most of their moves are really not
yeah,
really simple, but they're well-known moves, but they do them perfectly, right?
yeah,
So that's something else that I think kind of gets overlooked in the community is the people that have perfected a move. And that's something I really love to watch as well.
yeah, for sure.
And then what do you think is a good piece of advice for someone starting off in cardistry that wants to, create interesting videos or explore a new concept? Do you have any advice for those people to kind of get started in that direction?
I think just like practice every day as much as you want to, and then just like do whatever you think makes you the most happy, and just find happiness from doing cards. I think that would be my advice.
Yeah, I think this is something like when we made I was in the Squeezers V3 trailer for organic playing cards. When we made that is that we wanted to really incorporate play into cardistry, right? And having fun and showing that we're enjoying what we're doing, especially
Yeah.
because like COVID and everything, right? I think that's something that often goes overlooked is like you can enjoy what you're doing. Like you don't have to be trying to become famous in the cardistry community. Like
Yeah.
just enjoy what you're doing and like explore. There's so much to explore right now because cardistry is so new. Like
Mhm.
I think that's a great point that you made. So just in any hobby too, just enjoying what you're doing and not forcing yourself. I'm glad that you said like do it when you want to, because like
Yeah.
forcing yourself to do anything creative is like one of the number one ways to kill it, right?
Yeah, for
So I
sure.
don't know if you've experienced that at all with trying to force cardistry.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like recently, um, I still haven't put out my raspberry video, and I haven't filmed most of it yet. So, and like after I finished the pineapples and Fontaine came out with the raspberry, I was like, I have to make a video with that.
Hmm.
And I had nothing left. So I was like creating for a constant 2 weeks, trying to make something new. Well, I did make like two or three new moves that I thought were okay. But then just like that pressure of creating like under like a small amount of time just
Hmm.
added to like unnecessary stress and all that.
Yeah. I think what you find too is like some people thrive under that stress and some people like
Yeah,
it really crumbles them, right? So like
yeah,
I think like a good example of people that thrive is like Luis and Edgar, right? I
yeah,
feel like they were during CCC at least that they were like constantly coming up with like a new concept or idea, and it might not have been completely polished, but there was always new stuff. And I think that's because they had that deadline and also probably drugs. But
yeah,
um, but I think that's something like that they thrive on. But like me, for example, and I'm assuming kind of like you as well. Like if we like set a date, like is like no,
yeah,
right? Like
Yeah.
I find myself a lot more creative when I'm just kind of messing around and when it comes
Yeah.
naturally.
Me too.
So I think it's important to figure out which one of those two people you are as well,
Yeah.
for the people listening, to increase your cardistry ability. Um, and then just talking about cardistry in general as like a community and culture. I know I've seen you wear like a lot of Fontaine clothing,
Yeah.
um, as well as other brands. But I'm really excited that cardistry is kind of jumping into this culture kind of
Yeah.
phase.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think is so appealing of cardistry that like we can have this community, like have brands and like kind of going towards like a skater almost mentality where, you can rep the brands and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think like it inspires more people to like try and get sponsored by these companies. So then like they would become like in a sense famous
Mhm.
because they were part of some kind of video or like collab. And then it also like gives more um like gives a path to
To
uh
grow.
yeah, I don't know how to word it, but like it introduces people to like new companies that they've never heard about before. Like Braindead, after the Fontaine and Braindead collab, I was like really interested into Braindead after that because I didn't know what Braindead was as a like a as a clothing brand. But after Fontaine introduced that, I like got really interested.
Hmm. I really like the meshing of two brands that we're seeing happening a lot with Fontaine, um, as well as anyone in some other brands as well. That we have like the ability to introduce cardistry to an entire different demographic, and then also introduce cardist to an entire different demographic as well. Because like the meshing of these cultures is where we're seeing like a lot of really cool stuff, right?
Yeah,
Um, not only in physical products but in ideas and like um, inspiration.
yeah,
Um, so like it's really interesting to see cardistry kind of, at least for me, it's grown a lot into like almost a culture and like its own sub community. Whereas before it used to be when I was first starting, which was like a long time ago, um, 7 or 8 years ago, right? I did in high school and I dropped it. It wasn't like this at all. To where it was just like a hobby, right? And
yeah,
now you can interact with brands and people, and like there's a setup path to where you can grow and like feel
yeah.
like a community. That's what I'm going for, is like you feel like you belong to something, right? Because you have these bigger things, that umbrellas that you can be under. Before we get into the rapid round of questions, I always want to ask if there's anything that you would want to elaborate on, or any topics that you would want to talk about that we didn't go over, before we jump into that. And if not, that's totally okay.
Uh, I'm not sure. Maybe like the start of the like stores just for cards
Hmm.
because it like all started with kind of started with like collabs and then you go to that location and then buy the cards there. Like for example, the ice cream rip and dips, we had to go to the actual rip and dip store and then buy them there, which is really fun. And then like now Fontaine's released his own store,
Hmm.
which is like amazing because the only other store that is only for cards is like the San Diego Play Capsule for
Yeah.
Art of Play.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like that was the only one, and I was kind of sad because it wasn't near most people. Like I'm sure like no one else has this like availability of stores, but like the inclusion of Fontaine and like an actual card company having their own store is just mind blowing to me.
Hmm. It's really cool that we're starting to see that too.
Yeah,
And like it started off with like the pop-ups, right? And like now we actually have like physical locations. It's really cool,
yeah,
um, to think about, like, at least it's special for the people that live there, but also like for the people visiting, to have like a place where you can go specifically for cardistry, for cardists, right?
Yeah.
So like there's specialty shops for everything. And like now that we're starting to see cardistry pop up, like it shows not only the growth, but like the popularity of what cardistry can be and how it can grow, right? I love the idea. I don't know if Fontaine's ever going to do this. I know it's like called like the Fontaine Teaching Center or something. Is that right? Learning Center?
Oh, I haven't heard about that.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm full of crap. I don't know. But
That would be crazy though. Just
I
like
would,
going there and learning.
yeah, I would love to see people do like in-person classes type of thing.
Yeah.
Um, and that's something I think I want to try to do as well. Um, I mentioned this last podcast, but I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. If anybody wants to learn cardistry or lives in Cincinnati, Ohio, hit me up. I want to create a monthly jam or class. But yeah, that's something really cool that's happening in the community. And I'm super excited to see other brands potentially do stuff like this, like Orbit and some of the bigger brands that could potentially afford to do it, because it would really help the community grow. And it's super exciting too, like
Yeah.
to have the chance to go to one of those locations, right? Or to like take a visit in like someplace to go outside of CardistryCon, you know?
Yeah.
At the end of the show, I like to do something called the rapid round of questions, which is a bunch of questions that are random in nature, and the goal is to get through as many as possible. Just last episode, I introduced a 3-minute timer, so I'll set that, and then we'll try to get through as many questions as we can. I've also added some questions, so if you're listening, hopefully there's some new content for you. Are you ready for this?
So it's 3 minutes overall, not 3 minutes per question, right?
Overall, yes.
Okay. Okay.
So starting in now, get the spin of the wheel. Cats or dogs?
Oh, well, I'll say dogs, but like I don't prefer either.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Pancakes.
insect more. Okay, sorry.
Okay, no, you're good. Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
All right. If you could add any word to the dictionary, what would it be?
Oh no, I don't know. Like, can it be another definition for a word?
Sure.
Like I have this inside joke. It's like EBB is a spider. Like I like taking pictures of spiders, so I just call it EBS. Okay, sorry. Next question.
All right, you're fine. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Oh no. Flying probably.
Flying? All right, cool. Yeah. Summer or winter?
Oh, winter.
Do you have a favorite original move?
Well, I can't show it right now because it's a new one, but
okay.
Can I show one right now that I have?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll pause the timer.
I'm probably gonna mess it up though. It's like, oh yeah, that's definitely messed up. But it looks
Still
kind of like that. Oh my god, that was so cringe. But yeah, it like has this theme of like rowing packets.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it looked good even there. All right. Resume. Have you ever broken a bone?
No, never.
Right. Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
Nice. Do you have a favorite musician or genre of music?
Recently I'm like always on Tyler the Creator's songs.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite unoriginal move? So a move you haven't created?
Probably Hannah and the Pirate Caves. It's the first move from Flashlight by Fontaine.
Mm-hmm. All right, toilet paper over or under?
So I think it doesn't really matter which way it goes. Like it's just toilet paper.
Okay.
I think it can be used anyway.
However you want.
Yeah.
Who is the most famous cardist that you've met? in your opinion?
Zach
Zach,
at Montana. Yeah.
favorite restaurant?
Oh no. Like Buca di Beppo, the Italian restaurant.
Yep, yep. All right, real quick. Oh, I don't even have a question. If someone was to play you in a movie, who would you want the actor to be?
Oh, probably myself, because I know myself more than anyone else. Can I say
True.
that? Okay.
No, you're good. And then that is the time. We definitely got through the most questions out of.
Oh,
There it goes. Uh, definitely got through more questions than most people. I think that timer really helps. That was exciting. You're the first person to not say over for toilet paper, so
oh. Okay.
you'll be fine. No one will, as long as you don't say strictly under. Then there'd be people
Okay.
would be rioting. Um, but thank you, Eric, for being on the show. At the end of the show, I like to do this thing called roll out the close up pad, which is just my way of saying, is there anything you would like to promote or any last nugget you would like to leave the audience with?
Oh, I guess like thank you for allowing me to be on this interview
Yeah, thanks
and
for being here.
some shout outs I can give out. Shout out to Fontaine. Shout out to at Bubbles Cardistry on Instagram for being my best friend in the community right now. And shout outs to all the people who inspire me always.
Mhm. If you guys want to inspire Eric, release some videos, I would love to see them as well. I'm sure you guys will kill it. Um, real quick, all of Eric's links will be in the description. If you guys, for some reason, don't know him and know me, which would be strange, you guys can go check that out. He's got some really good edits on there, and his recent stuff is really good. Unfortunately, he's archived his vast
Yeah.
library, but we get the main parts. So, Eric, once again, thank you for being on the show. I hope everybody has a great day, and we'll see you guys. Bye bye.